Hey, it's Paul Omahony here, and today in this video I want to address a question that a lot of people have, which is, I'd like to start investing, but how do I do it? It's so freaking complicated. Now, just before we get started here, if you find this topic of investing interesting and you really want to dig into it in a bit more detail, feel free to go to rethinklibrary.com, where we have a free training for you that goes into this in more depth. Okay? So let's talk about this here, specifically about investing and what does it truly mean. Well, first and foremost, in order to even consider investing, you need to be saving. You want to automate the process of saving in your life. Remove the emotion from it. Make it a habit. Pay yourself first. Okay, so just in case you haven't seen videos of mine before where I talk about this, just a quick recap. Set it up that every month, that when you get paid, or if you get paid weekly, bi-weekly, every fortnight, or once a month, set it up that automatically 10% of what you earn automatically goes into a savings account. That is the first step. You pay yourself first, and you pay yourself a portion of wealth. And every 3 months, increase that 10% by another 10%. So 10% of 10% will be 1%. So you'd go from 10% when you start off for the first 3 months, then you get to 11%. Then after month 6, you'd increase it by another 10%. What's 10% of 11? It's 1.1. So then you'd be increasing it to 12.1% is what you'd be saving. So basically what you're doing here is slowly and incrementally building the amount of money that you're saving. And it's going to happen at such a small amount that you're not going to notice the difference with the amount of money that you have left each month. Okay, so this automates the process. It gets you into a fantastic habit. You'd already be in like the top 1% in the world in terms of having a secure, automated saving system in place. And then we can start to think about investing. So investing is what we're going to do with that money. What are we going to do with that money to take us away from working for money, but rather having our money work for us? Now, investing, without a doubt, there is a leap required in terms of education. We do need to kind of study up on what are the processes involved. And to be honest, what I find with most things when I'm teaching it is, if you don't understand the bigger picture, it's very difficult then to know what to do with the pains, so to speak. So what I want to do here is just explain how your investing system might look. Right now, you've probably heard of things like investment portfolios and things like that kind of immediately complicate it and make it kind of sound like, I don't know if I can do this. Let me contact a qualified financial advisor or somebody who can do this for me. But here's the thing. Your qualified financial advisor gets paid regardless of what happens with your investments. Right? They get paid based on every time an investment is made, and they're happy one way or the other. So what we want to do is, we cannot hand over our control completely to somebody else, a stranger. While they may be qualified, ultimately it's not in their best interest one way or the other whether your investments work. So what I suggest you do is you want to set up a process where over time you're certain, and that's what we're looking for here, you're going to build certainty that money is working for you. So what I suggest is that you combine what we just talked about earlier, which is the forced accelerated savings system, where you're saving 10% on a monthly basis, and then every 3 months slowly increasing it by 10%, and creating what I call an investing triangle. Okay, so the investing triangle has 5 different layers to it. In fact, you'll be able to see this behind me with the screen. The triangle, as I said, is made up of separate components. The bottom component there is where you want to save up to 3 months worth of expenses. Okay, what is your current cost of living right now? How much does it cost you to get by each month? Now, not just you, whoever also is reliant on you, whether that be a parent or a child or a sibling or whoever that is, how much do you need to get by each month? And what we want to do is to set aside 3 months worth of money to cover the costs of 3 months of expenses. That's our first goal, and we want to save that money at an investment rate of 3 to 5% per annum. Okay, 3 to 5% per annum. Now this is going to take some time, because if you're saving 10% per month, okay, and of what you're currently earning, it will take you, assuming you don't do the 10% increase, it's going to take you 10 months to get 1 month's worth set aside. Okay, so it could take up to 30 months to get 3 months set aside, but it will take a lot less, of course, if you increase it by 10% every 3 months. That's why I advise that. But once you have that 3 months worth in place, you have that cushion, right, and it's earning 3 to 5% on a money market or something similar to that. Now you know that even if you lose your job, okay, or your current source of income, that you don't have to rush into the next job, right? You actually you've got this cushion in place. You know you've at least 3 months worth, so that reduces the stress. It doesn't make you just jump into the lowest paying job that you're offered next. You're not living month to month anymore in terms of your income or one paycheck to paycheck. So we want to build that comfort zone, so we're removing the stress and emotion due to scarcity of money. Now that level, the bottom level of the triangle, is the one that takes the longest. And while you are doing that, while you are filling that level with 3 months worth of income, what you want to be doing at that point in time is you need to start studying up. I want you to start doing some research on where can you find a return of about 6 to 8% per annum. Okay, 6 to 8% per annum. Now, I'll give you a clue. If you look at the stock market, the index in the stock market based on average since it began, it's in or around that. It's somewhere between 6 and 8%. So that could be something that you look at. But I don't want you to take my advice on that. I want you to start to do some research for yourself, because nobody should care more about your money than you do, right? So you have plenty of time to study up on how to do that, on how to find index funds that you can put in and get 6 to 8% per annum. Now, what you're doing then is you fill 3 months worth of your income at that level. So you'll have 3 months at 3 to 5%, then you'll have 3 months worth at 6 to 8%. And while you're filling that level at 6 to 8%, you're then going to be studying, where can I find an investment for 9 to 11% return? Okay, where can I find this slightly higher return again of 9 to 11%? Now you could be looking at various indexes within the stock market that are specifically for a specific part of the stock market or a specific area that's growing faster than the rest. But again, you're going to have to study up on this to begin with, but you've plenty of time when you're filling the 3 months worth of income at the 6 to 8%. That's when you're looking for the 9 to 11%. And then the next 2 levels above are exactly the same. So what you're going to be looking for then is, where can I find 12 to 14%? Okay, and when you're filling the 9 to 11% with 3 months worth there, that's when you're studying, where do I find 14% per annum? Okay, up to 14%. And the final level on the top is 15% plus. And here's the thing. Some people, when they think they're investing, they're going to look for a return of 15% or 20%, not even in a year. They look to do it in a single week or a single month by picking a stock that they got a tip on. Right? When you're doing that, you're really taking a massive risk. Why? Well, with every return, increased percentage interest rate return, the higher it is, the higher risk you're taking on. That's why it's giving you that higher return, because within that, built into that, is a higher risk. So even if it works out for you and you do get 15% or you do get 20% return in a week or a month, it's highly likely you're going to go back and do that again, because you think, oh, I found a system here that works. But inevitably, built into that higher return is this higher risk. So by following this investment triangle that I'm recommending to you, you have this inbuilt safety net. You've got low risk, low return at the bottom, then slightly higher risk with slightly higher return. And then again, slightly higher risk, slightly higher return. So it's beautifully balanced in the way that it's set up, and it allows you to earn the right to take higher risks, because at each level in the triangle, you are studying, where do I find proven returns per annum at this higher rate of return, with a higher rate of risk that you fully understand. You know exactly where you're going to get, and that's how you become an excellent investor, by focusing on certainty, right? Understanding risk, understanding reward, understanding that you cannot have one without the other, but you're taking calculated risks. You're setting up a beautifully balanced portfolio so that ultimately you're going to be in a completely different place around your money. And as I say, please don't let anybody else care more about your money than you do. You need to get on top of this. You need to study up on this. And as I say, if you would love to learn more about this topic, feel free to go to rethinklibrary.com, where I've got a lot more information on this. But also, if you'd like to tell a friend or a family member about what we just talked about there, which is a great introduction to this, please feel free to share this video or tag them in. And please like and please comment and let me know your thoughts. And I look forward to hearing about your successful investment journey.